Hello, my dear friends. Good morning and good evening, and a warm welcome to one and all of you. Namaste, Namaskar, Vanakkam, whichever language or whichever time zone you belong to. We are friends and we are here to help each other. And the very reason we get involved in these kind of sessions is just to help the mankind. Therefore, we build each other as overcomers. In our life, there are various situations and circumstances, unprecedented events, and things that you and I do not anticipate tends to occur now and then. But then you and I should have that strength and courage and experience. See, the more you get involved in these kind of, therefore, it doesn't mean that you should start looking for troubles. But when trouble hits you, when a problem that you did not anticipate hits you, it is actually not a new thing for you. You definitely know how to overcome because you have applied certain methods, certain techniques, and certain what I say things that you had learned in the past, right? Maybe similar to that problem or little different, but doesn't matter. Problem is a problem. Don't ever try to categorize the problem as complex, medium complex, high complex, and this and that, right? All problems are problems. Start to keep the problem at a distance and do not keep it under the microscope. This is the rule of thumb. Okay, this is another short session, and this is a very important topic. And every topic is important topic. Some of the topics may sound, oh, is this really a topic for discussion? Yeah, it may sound so, but then that is why we want you to listen to the whole video, right? We are making short videos like 8 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. What is the most irritating thing in your life? What is the most irritating thing in your life? Many of us have plenty of answers to this question, correct or not? So, the reason to ask this question is this is a versatile question, this is a comprehensive question that most of us will have many answers to it. Why? Because my experience in this world is not the same as yours. The way how I am living my life here in India, in Bangalore, in some gully, versus a person living in US in some street, versus a person living in London in a posh house, versus a person living in a village where there is no not even proper electricity or water or the street lights are available, or internet absolutely they have not even seen once in their lifetime. There are villages today also like that, right? Of course, the Prime Minister of India is trying to bring digitalization in India, but it's like a vast coverage to reach to the ends of the peripherals of India. It's never going to be easy. So there are various aspects, various parameters in life. People go through various experiences. Now let's start analyzing this question, a very, very important one. Why? Because I will give you the answer a little later, right? Let's first try to understand the question. What is the most irritating thing in your life? To some of us, the most irritating thing could be the noise, right? Especially some construction work going on in my area. I do not know, every month someone else is starting, some or other person is starting construction work, and it takes almost like 2 years for anyone to finish construction, end-to-end construction. Therefore there will be a lot of noise. Stray dogs, I don't have to explain, Bangaloreans definitely know, right? Violation in rules. For example, you are a person who follow the rules, but then you will see 2 3 violators coming on the road and they irritate you so much. Noise pollution is not something that many people count it as irritation. Why? Because their system, their DNA is like that. Their sensitivity to noise is not as bad as yours or mine. Therefore I use a beautiful thing called as 3M earplugs, and I plug it inside my ears. But if I have to attend some meetings or calls, most of us are working from home or in hybrid model, correct? Can I plug in earplug and put a headset over on top of it? I won't be able to hear the voice of the person. So what happens sometimes? The tolerance level need to be worked upon. So we will start analyzing the tips how to overcome noise pollution, rules, violation of rules, politics, right? Big irritation, especially when a party whom you hate the most comes and sits in center or in the state ministry. Of course you hate them a lot. This is the situation for all the citizens, whichever country you belong, right? If you're a human being, you will always have this kind of irritation. Next 5 years I will have to see this guy, correct? That is another source of irritation. Any kind of economical reformation, the government is trying to bring in new transformations or reformations and all that, and that is going to hurt you, then obviously you get irritated. At workplace, of course, there are variety of irritations. For example, you have a challenging peer, you have a challenging subordinate, you have a challenging boss. Why? Because challenges are quite common, right? It is definitely not something that you would discover once in a while. No, every single day you should expect challenges. Why? Because that's how human brain works, right? We are not like robots, created like robots. All of us have the same capacity, all of us have the same dynamicity, all of us have the same IQ. No, it varies from person to person. Therefore, difference of opinion is going to be quite common, and it all depends how you look at it, how receptive you are, how responsive you are, and how much you want to accommodate, right? Maybe 10 things people say, 8 of them you can ignore, but there are some good things, one or two good things, nothing wrong. You take them into consideration and start applying those things in your life, and your life changes, right? Always start looking at people. Now, I will get into the tips a little later. Now we are analyzing the sources. What is the most irritating thing in your life? We are trying to analyze the sources. In India, when summer season comes, nowadays in any season, power cut happens. When power cut happens, your UPS drains. You have a very important meeting. What happens? How long can you sustain in your mobile? No, you cannot. Another source of irritation, because you cannot anticipate. Certain areas in my city, infrastructure is really bad. When heavy rain comes, the flood comes and really, creates a turmoil in that place. Water gushes into the houses and this and that, right? And that is another source of irritation. Joblessness, right? Wherever I go, I'm not able to excel. For some reasons, people hate me because my IQ is really low. What can I do about it? Children really irritated with academic system. Every day they have to carry 20 kg load, almost like a bag of rice. So heavy it is, and the system is also very heavy. The academic curriculum, it's very very heavy. And recently my daughter was going through midterm exam. She could sleep only for 4 hours per day. She is doing her 10th grade, and I'm sure you have your children sitting in 11th grade, 12th grade, and um, in colleges, university exams and stuff like that. Things may be a little different in US and or UK or Europe or any other places, but in India the academic system is really heavy. It has not changed even a bit. During my days, however, the way how I suffered, a generation gap, and even the next generation has come. I'm seeing the same thing. In fact, it is getting even more worse. So what can we do about it? Can we sit at a corner and start getting irritated, angry, annoyed, frustrated, disappointed? I'm not going to study. Let me go and do some work and all that. No, you have to live with that, right? But these are the different sources of irritation. Or a pet dog in a neighbor's house always barking. I have a similar situation in the surroundings also, but not very bad. But what to do, right? These kind of sources of irritation keeps crossing your path and my path. Sometimes, financial crunch. Now you planned something and you got into a debt. Now the irritating part is you are on the verge of losing your job. And what do? That is the most irritating thing, when your planning gets disrupted. You planned for something, you got into something, now there is a disruption. There is a barricade, there is a hurdle. What to do? So many things, right? It varies from person to person. What am I trying to reach? I'm going to close in the next 2 minutes. The tips that we want to leave behind are going to be very very simple. You know what it is? Accept the problem as it is. Accept the person as he is or as she is. Learn to accept the situation, learn to accept the problem as it is. Learn to accept the person as he is, or as who he is, or as who she is. Whatever English you want, you please translate into right grammar and vocabulary and all that. I hope you understand this, right? Do not try to add or decrement to the situation. Yeah, he should have behaved like this. She should have spoken like this. Why this problem occurs to me? Why me only? All these things, if you start adding more question marks, you're adding more fuel to the burning fire. This is the first tip. Why? Because that is life. Life is not static. There is a box, no, which measures the, in ICUs you can see, definitely admit a patient, it will be measuring the heartbeat and all that, and there will be variance, right? What if a straight line comes? Over, chapter closed. The person is dead and gone. Correct or not? If life is going to be a straight line, actually you cannot live your life. It is not interesting. Life is sometimes boring without challenging things, without. I'm not saying you should look for troubles, you should invite trouble. Hey, come, somebody come, someone come and trouble me, man. Not like that, right? You are not a troublemaker. But then when trouble hits you, it looks really challenging for you. It looks really interesting for you. Why? Because second tip is, learn to look at any irritating thing in any form as a challenge, which is going to leave behind some lessons, which is going to leave behind some morals, which is going to leave behind some values in life. If you start looking at this challenge, I mean, any trouble in this manner, obviously there is nothing that can irritate you. Correct? First of all, have the true acceptance. Yes, it happened. What can I do about it? Nothing. Because I'll tell you, normal citizens of India, normal citizens of any country, 9 out of 10 things are not in your control. Environmental conditions, circumstances, political, economical reformation, recession, at workplace, kind of project change, reorg happening in this thing, and your children's your child's IQ. You just cannot control most of these things, but you can manage, but you can handle it, and you can also overcome. And these are the tips to overcome. First of all, have the attitude of acceptance. Then secondly, you learn to understand that yes, every challenging thing is going to leave behind some values for me, morals for me in my life. So why don't I look into it? Why don't I slice and dice? Thirdly, give it a try from your heart, not from your mind. Yeah. If you try from your mind, you're going to definitely fail. Why? Because mind is feeble than your heart. Heart has the right attitude. Yeah, it has that spirit. It has the right attitude. Mind is bothered about so many things. Therefore, there are chances that you can definitely fail. Mind is needed. Of course, everything gets processed in your mind, but learn to work from your heart. Yeah, that's a totally different experience. Maybe I will do another session. What is the difference between working from mind and working from heart? Good title, no? So we will try to do this in some other session, right? Try to work from your heart to battle against those challenges. All these three tips you follow, you will definitely have a great success. You will not fail. Fourth important thing, when it is not related to a circumstance, right? Every circumstance is being made or created or crosses your path because of a human being, correct? No. Now, for example, that circumstance is caused by some other norms, reformation, or rules which had been put from government of India or whatever. You can't do much about it, because you have to look at the law and not at the people, because they are ministers. But sometimes within the family, within your what to say, at workplace, within the circle of, if you're a student and all that, most of the times you have human beings crossing your path. I'll tell you what, maybe they are wrong. I'm not trying to justify that they are right. Maybe they are wrong. They insulted you, they irritated you, they keep irritating you, they keep bullying you, ragging, and this and that all happens. But then learn to look at people with compassion, with the tolerance, with patience. I'll tell you what, after 5 times or 10 times, they will slowly start to think. This is how the brain works, right? Every one of us, every human being in this world, they have compassion. Good example, I'll tell you. Something happened last week also. While I was just going in my vehicle, four wheeler, I saw one two-wheeler guy had fallen down. Yeah, he belongs to a certain religion. I definitely know what it is, but I'm not going to tell you. But I'll tell you what, and it is noticeable that he belongs to a certain religion because of his dress code, beard, and many other things. But the moment he had fallen down on the road, every vehicle stops. Every one of them, they parked their two wheelers and they rushed towards the that. He was a mid-aged fellow. He was roughly around 48 or 50. One guy lifted the vehicle, the other guy lifted that person. The other guy was trying to actually, dust his clothes and checking whether he is all good or not. The other guy is taking the vehicle to the side. The other guy is clearing the traffic because the vehicle started kind of piling and all that. Where do you get all this? Yeah. The morning, so there are around 20 people who rush to the spot. All those 20 people, were they told, yeah, such a guy is going to fall and you have to? It was not a pre-planned event. It comes from the heart, right? Therefore, inbuilt in the human being, the system inbuilt, you have a lot of compassion. Yeah, you might curse a person while he is alive, but the moment he is dead, immediately tears roll down your eyes. Why? Because I lost a great opportunity. I could have been in peace with this guy. The problem is, we don't tend to get into the peacemaking skills or pursue peace with men, this concept, while the person is alive. But when the person is dead and gone, when the person is no more, what a terrible mistake I have committed, right? You will bite your tongue, you will be knocking against your forehead and this and that. It's too late, my dear beloved friends. So what I'm trying to say here is, learn to look at people with lot of compassion. Perhaps they have a problem, perhaps they are irritating you, yes, they do it knowingly also. But then, through your compassion, through your patience, through your tolerance, your own colleague will change, your own wife will change, your own husband, your own children, your own neighbor, everyone will change someday. Why? Because the human system is like that. It's created by God that way, probably. There is a lot of compassion in everyone's heart, and there is a lot of love for one another. It is only that because of certain political Vedanta, we are divided by religion, language, certain doctrines, this and that, right? Otherwise, we are all human beings. Good example I told you, it's true incident. It happened, right? And for example, once I was going in the train, one person was having little breathlessness. The whole bunch of people in that bogie, they kind of circled. One person is actually, the fan is not enough, therefore he is waving to get some more air, therefore he feels comfortable. Another guy is wiping with this wet cloth on the face. One guy is running towards the train police, and cops were there, and who's a trained doctor, duty doctor. Next station, people helped that person. Train halted for 5 minutes. This happened long ago, 15 or 20 years ago, when I was a bachelor, I think so. Yeah, and they carried him all the way to the emergency. Ambulance came and all that, and then only everyone came back. Now, who is that guy? In what way is related to these people in the bogie, right? Any emergency situation strikes, that's when I think our compassion is put to test. But I don't think that's the right principle. Why can't you force yourself and show that compassion and love and patience? I'll tell you what, this question will be invalid. What is the most irritating thing in my life? There is nothing, sorry. Invalid question. The day you're able to make this statement, this question is invalid in my life, I'll tell you what, you'll be a very strong human being, you'll be a very loving person, you'll be a very kind person, you will have a lot of gentleness, you will have a lot of goodness in you. You want to do good to the people, so many qualities. I'm not here to blame anyone that you are bad or good or whatever. You judge who you are. You're with me? All right, so we end here. Stay tuned. The next session is what? The title would be, what is the most valuable thing in your life? So stay tuned. I'm going to meet you in the next session with this title. God bless you. Please subscribe to our channel if you have not. Share with your friends, whomever you know, the videos which you love, what you like, you comment. You want any new sessions, please give us the title. Here we are to serve you for free. No problem. Okay. God bless you. Namaskaram and take care.